Hi, I'm David Desero, and today we're going to be talking about His Dark Materials Season 2, Episode 2. We're going to be talking about spoilers for Season 2 of His Dark Materials. You have been warned. Let's get into it. Okay, what happens in Episode 2? Lyra and Will travel to Earth, our Oxford, Will's Oxford. Will and Lyra have their first fight. Will receives some bad news. He goes to the bank to see if they'll release his dad's money to him because it's supposed to go to him, but he needs his mom to be there, which is just not going to happen right now. So then he finds out he has grandparents currently living in Oxford. And so he's obviously surprised. He's never known about them. He knows nothing about them. I think you know, like in your gut, that it's not going to work out well, that he's not going to be able to go there, and then they're going to welcome him with open arms and then solve all his problems or even help him with the money situation. It does not go well, and they're just the worst people. They feel like he's only after their money. They immediately call the police on him, and he has to run away. And that's how his day goes. Whereas Lyra, on the other hand, has a pretty good day. She goes and finds this physicist or scientist at Oxford University in our world. She finds this physicist or scientist in Oxford, in our Oxford. And Lyra basically convinces this scientist that she's from another world. And the scientist does not freak out. She doesn't immediately call the authorities like Will's grandparents. And she doesn't perceive Lyra to be up to something. She just she's really curious, which makes sense why she does what she does. She seems like a genuinely curious person. She asks her a few questions, and then Lyra convinces her that she's really from another world by using the golden compass, the alethiometer, to bring up the the scientific scholar. I don't know what to call her. I'm going to call her scientific scholar. Yeah. She brings up that the scientific scholar used to be a nun before she stopped believing, and then she went into the sciences. And that's one way to do it, and it's probably the better way, because when I was watching the show, I was sitting there like, well, why doesn't she just show her pan? Show her your demon and be like, here, I'm obviously not from this world. Just do that to everybody. Like that's the quickest, easiest way. It worked for Will. Why not do it here? But then at the same time, I could see how that could cause a lot of problems. I mean, people can maybe try to capture her and do weird experiments on Pan, and all that already happened in season 1. We can't just do that every season. So I get why she just doesn't show everybody her demon. Anyways, it looks like Lyra can manipulate dust. I guess that's how she uses the golden compass. She asks it a question, and she can see the dust kind of forms an answer. And on this machine that the scholar has at Oxford, she's able to manipulate the dust particles and form shapes, or at least ask them questions, and the dust particles respond in shapes found on the golden compass. And obviously the scholar is blown away, but she doesn't freak out. She doesn't, again, call the authorities on Lyra, or like, she just is like, oh, please come back tomorrow. And hopefully Lyra comes back tomorrow. So Lyra ends up being late to meet Will, and he's pissed off. He's had a bad day. The thing at the bank didn't work out, and meeting his grandparents for the first time, that didn't work out either. And then she was late, and he was worried about her. So he's pissed off. And they kind of get in their first little argument, but I think they're fine. They're okay. I feel like that's an easy one for them to just get past and keep going. And that's all they do in this episode. Now, the overarching storyline is the looming war between the Magisterium and the witches. So Father MacPhail rises to power, and Mrs. Coulter helps him get there. Miss Coulter gives off some serious Cersei Lannister vibes in this episode. She doesn't hold back. She does what she wants, and she's definitely up to something. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up on the Iron Throne. I know, I know. I'm just saying she had a better story than Bran. Okay. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, she helps Father McPhail rise to power. Father McPhail is, I guess, in some sort of competition with this other bishop who just appeared in this episode and seems real angry at everything. And she's like, "Oh, you need to show them, that you're powerful and declare war." And he does that, and everybody votes him, I guess, to be the new cardinal, which works out. And it seems like that's the obvious thing. It's going to work out, obviously. The confusing part, there's this scene after he becomes the cardinal where he asks Miss Coulter where she's going, what she's doing. And it seemed like she made it pretty clear in the first episode that she was going to help him obtain this power and rise to the top. And in return, he would just leave her alone and let her do whatever she wanted. It seemed like it was pretty clear that's what the deal was. And then as soon as the moment he becomes the cardinal, he's like, "What are you up to?" And she's like, "I'm not going to tell you." Later. And she just goes. And he's genuinely like flabbergasted. The man is floored. He's confused. And I don't get why. She told you this was going to be the thing. This is how it was going to happen. She did what she said she was going to do. What more do you want? It totally felt like Mrs. Coulter gave him the "be a dragon" speech from Game of Thrones. She was just like, "Be aggressive, be powerful, do the thing." And yeah. And the rest of the bishops were like, "Yeah, he's our guy." So anyways, he declares war. He bombs the witch's island. And thankfully, they're not on the island. So that's good. The witches don't really do anything in this episode other than be sad that their island got exploded. I mean, thankfully, they weren't on the island. But it sets up a revenge plot. Like they need to hit back. They need to answer this because they got bombed. They got attacked, and this just takes us further down the path to war. I'm guessing the war is going to take place in like episode 7, like near the end of the season, not the final episode, but like maybe right before that. I will say the season is already shaping up to be more exciting than season 1. Again, I had so many problems with the pacing for season 1, but season 2, I'm a lot more interested. Just second episode in and seeing where the third episode is going to be. And it looks like at some point Lee Scoresby gets captured by Mrs. Coulter. And I'm sure that's going to be really intense. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking forward to that because I don't want him to be captured. But I also am looking forward to it because I want to see Lee Scoresby and Mrs. Coulter kind of face off. Not obviously like in a physical fight, but it's more of, I'm sure, an argument. And she's probably torturing him in some way. But that and the war and the subtle knife, wherever that is at this moment, and it keeps showing in the trailer, at some point Will does have it and he cuts open a portal to another dimension or window, a doorway, whatever. But yeah, let me know. What did you think of the second episode of His Dark Materials Season 2? Let's talk about it down in the comments below. Until next time, later.